Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2021 action thriller The Marksman, a film that is directed by Robert Lorenz and it stars Liam Neeson, Juan Pablo Raba and Jacob Perez. Now this film focuses on Liam Neeson's character Jim, who is a farmer on the Mexican border. He lost his wife some time ago. He's struggling financially to maintain his farm. He's in financial trouble, and then one day, while driving home, he runs across a young mother and her son who have crossed the Mexican border. They are clearly in some distress, and they are chased by members of the cartel. Liam Neeson refuses to hand them over. A gunfight ensues. The mother is killed, and on her deathbed she basically begs Liam Neeson to look after her son and make sure that he gets to his relatives in Chicago. Liam Neeson feels compelled to do this, and then the film then follows him and this little boy Miguel driving cross country, and with Liam Neeson trying his best to keep this boy safe from the cartel who are hot on their heels. Right, what are my thoughts on The Marksman? Well, I will be perfectly honest here. When I saw the trailer for this and the write-up for this film, I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit and thought, oh, it's just another one of those run-of-the-mill Liam Neeson type action films that he's been doing a dime a dozen for the last decade or so. But I actually would be wrong in that statement here with this. Now, to some degree, yes, we do. It is a bit formulaic at times, this film. No getting around it, and it concludes completely in a way that you would expect, and it is quite predictable and by the numbers for the most part. But I think the surprising thing here is that Liam Neeson kind of plays the reluctant hero here. He doesn't really want to get involved, and yes, he plays this former Marine, which is where the title comes from, The Marksman. It doesn't specify that he used to be a sniper or anything, but his choice of weapon seems to be like a rifle, so I would make that assumption potentially that he was some kind of sniper maybe. But I think Liam Neeson's performance here is quite vulnerable and subdued to some degree. And what strengthens this film, I think, his relationship to this young actor Jacob Perez, who plays Miguel. It's a strained relationship, and then it's a relationship built on trust, and to some degree warmth and love. And I really bought it. I thought this young actor Jacob Perez that plays this Miguel, this young guy, young Mexican boy, was really good. Actually, I really enjoyed his performance, and I believe the dynamic between them. We have Juan Pablo Raba, who plays like this leader of this Mexican cartel. Does a very, very good job. He's ruthless. You know, in no uncertain terms, that if this guy catches up with Liam Neeson and this child, they're in bother, because he goes around pretty much executing everybody he sees and everybody that he comes across. I mean, you know, he's leaving a trail of body all over the US, it would seem, and that's the kind of part of the film that feels predictable, and it just felt a little bit like they didn't really need to do that. They felt like they just pulled this bad guy out of a comic book almost, or Breaking Bad or something like that. I don't know. It didn't work. You know, it was almost like when they needed the cartel to find Liam Neeson and this boy, they cooked up some way for them to track them down, even though, you know, it's a cartel, for goodness sake. You know, they're not technologically advanced. They don't have hackers all over the place. They don't have access to this, that and the other, but it seems like they're plugged into everything and everyone, and every, you know, law enforcement or any device that they have out there to track people down, they have access to. So every time Liam Neeson uses his credit card, they track him down. Or they've got people situated on, like, you know, highways, bridges, watching out for his truck on traffic, and then, lo and behold, he just happens to pass underneath one of them. I mean, you just think, you know, this is the US. They wouldn't have cartels on every bridge, on every highway, trying to find him. It was very, very convenient whenever they needed this cartel to find Liam Neeson and this child. They just turned up. And there was one sequence where they're in a hotel room. I could have missed some, but for some reason they just turned up and found them, which I found, again, very, very convenient. But I thought the conclusion was pretty good. It gave you a pretty satisfying ending, the film. It was fairly, the last 20 minutes were fairly action-packed. Kind of what you would expect, though, if I'm being honest. It didn't offer much in the way of surprise. But what did surprise me was, at the end, I was getting a little bit choked up with this relationship between Liam Neeson and this boy. So that tells me that they've done something right in this film. The performers and the way it's been written, they've made me feel a connection between the characters. If you start feeling emotion, then they've done something right. And I was definitely feeling that by the end of the film. I was feeling like, yes, this is doing its job. And I felt a little bit choked up at the end. So yeah, I thought overall this film surprised me a little bit. I was expecting to dislike this film, or just think it was very, very middle of the road and average. It's actually a little bit above that, and it's very, very watchable, I think, and the performances certainly help that. Yes, it is a bit generic. Yes, it is a bit formulaic at times, but I enjoyed it more than his last one, which was The Honest Thief, I think it was called. But I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10 anyway. It was certainly watchable, and it's not a wasted hour and a half, if you like, if you're going to put some time into watching this film and you like Liam Neeson and these sort of films that he makes. So that is my review for The Marksman. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching, and of course I will be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.